Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Behind the Experience, the car show. I am your host, Anthony McCrary. And tonight I've got a doozy for you. Something that I have seen a lot of. I work at a dealership, and we do have luxury vehicles on our lots, and we try to get the best of the best. And I think there is a gigantic misconception thinking that luxury vehicles, because they are luxury, they're built better. And although some of that is actually true, they're built better than your, let's just say, your regular cars, so to speak. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are more reliable than those said cars. So tonight's show is going to delve deep dive into the 10 most unreliable luxury cars on the market today. Some of them are going to be new, some of them are going to be older, but these are the cars that you need to avoid at all costs, whether you are buying them new or whether you are buying them on the pre-owned market, because they're going to end up costing you an arm and a leg, or something is going to go wrong at some point. So, without further ado, let's dive right on in. Number 10, believe it or not, number 10 to me surprised me. And it's because of this gigantic movement that we are now a part of. They're pushing very hard, is this EV movement, right? So now that every brand, for the most part, has now at least one or two EVs on the market, the one that has put EVs on the map in the luxury sphere has to be none other than Tesla. That's right, Tesla. Number 10, the Model S. Tesla, the 2022, as a matter of fact, Model S is the 10 most unreliable luxury vehicle that you can buy today. It got a score of 4 out of 10. A lot of the problems as it pertains to, again, remember in previous podcasts, I said that I am an EV realist. I'm not an EV hater. I'm just a realist. And I think that there are more problems that are going to come with EVs than we think. But the problems that persist with the 2022 Tesla Model S is that right now there are 10, count them, 10 open recalls on the Tesla Model S. 10 open recalls. Yeah, I get it. Y'all want to sit here and, poo-poo on Toyota, Nissan, Honda for having their one or two recalls. Well, we've got a whole luxury brand that costs, 80 to 90 to $100,000, and they've got 10 open ones. So you mean to tell me that overall I'm going to pay a house for a vehicle and it's got 10 open recalls right now? Yeah, I ain't doing it. Sorry. So for those folks, and they wide range of issues, not just, with engines going out, not just with the technology not working the way that it should be. We are completely talking about a vehicle, because remember, it's an EV, so everything is electronical in it. So we're talking about just the entire brain of the operation not working the majority of the time. And those recalls are on those things. People. That's why I say research. Research is some of the most important thing that you can do before you go out and start purchasing this stuff, especially this high-end stuff, because it gets expensive really quick. To replace an engine in a Tesla, to replace the EV engine in a Tesla, you might as well just go buy a new Tesla. You might just go buy a new car at this point in time, because that repair cost is so astronomical. What are we doing? And remember, Tesla can only be fixed by Tesla. Oops. So you can't take it to Uncle Rico's garage down the road. You can't take it to your local Honda dealership. You can't take it to your local Toyota dealership. They don't know what to do with it. So you got to get it towed or, drawn into your nearest Tesla dealership. Again, another drawback. I'm just saying. For that reason, it's number 10 most unreliable luxury vehicle on the road today. The 2022 Model S. 10th most unreliable. Next on this list. Now we're going to go back 10 years. Now this is when Jaguar was kind of doing their thing a little bit. And they had some rough spots too, because, a lot of people don't know that them and Ford used to kind of be, one and the same company, so to speak. It was like the European version of Ford. So there's a lot of parts and technologies and things of that nature. That's why, for the most part, Jaguar is nothing but a glorified, Ford. It just kind of is. Ford has borrowed even now a lot of their styling for the Explorer from Jaguar, from Land Rover, because they share a lot of those same components. And if you look, they're not far away from each other when it comes to reliability and durability and things of that nature. They're just not, because they share a lot of the same stuff, So the 2012 Jaguar XJ is the 9th most unreliable luxury vehicle on the road. It scored a 4.3 out of 10. Now, of course, if 10 is the highest, the further that you are away from 10, the worse off you are, right? Yeah. So the problems consistent with this vehicle here is that it seemed to have overwhelming issues when it came to engine failure. Not just that, customers reported maintenance costs or repair costs exceeding over $20,000 in repair costs. Oh my God. $20,000, that's a Versa right now. That's a Versa. That's a whole nother vehicle. Why would anyone dare spend the time to, one, spend that kind of money on repair costs for a vehicle that's already now 11 years old? I get it. We want to flash. I get it. We want to ride in style. We want to look good, because right now Jaguar is affordable at that, at the 2012 year model, so Jaguar, that vehicle's maybe 18, 20 grand. Cool. Well, just know your repair costs could exceed over 20 grand. And on top of that, you could be talking about engine failure. That's not something that you want to hear about. That's not something that you want to hear when you're spending that kind of money on a vehicle that is a luxury brand. Engine failure. No, you would think they already have the bugs figured out, right? And then we wonder why Ford stopped making cars. Then we wonder why Jaguar somewhat ended that partnership with Ford. I'm just saying. I ain't saying, but I'm saying. Again, I ain't saying, but I'm saying. Research. Next up, number 8. Here we go again. Here's another Jaguar. Now, this one's older. This is a 1998 S-Type. Now, this one got a 4.8 out of 10. Now, of course, as the list goes down to one, those scores will get better and better. But this one, So I'll just say this: S-Type had all kind of problems. It had all kind of issues. Not only mechanical issues, electrical issues. The repair costs on these vehicles are astronomical. They too can reach anywhere between 15 to 20 grand. And the problem with this vehicle in particular is, it just was not built well. It wasn't built well at all. I do know people that still have these vehicles, and more times than not, you only see them drive them every once in a while. And it's because they know it's just not a great vehicle. And it's not. It never really was a great vehicle. It still isn't. You can still find them on the pre-owned market. Avoid these vehicles at all costs. Yes, I get it. You can get this vehicle for like 10 grand. Avoid it. It's not worth it. It's not. It's not worth it. It's not. You're going to end up paying way more in repair costs and maintenance than the vehicle's actually worth. And again, people are paying 10 grand for the vehicle's probably only worth 4, 5. You know, why do that? Why put yourself in that situation? Why put yourself in a place where, man, you got to make pimp decisions of, do I want to put 10 grand on a house or do I want to put 10 grand in this 1998 S model Jaguar? I'm Gucci. Not doing that. Like I said, this vehicle was not built well at all. They knew it. They still made it. So for those who have it as collector's items and all this other stuff, most people don't drive them like that. Like I say, and for the people that do, you only see them driving it every once in a while. And it's because of the reliability issues in it. All right. Okay. Number 7 on this list. Woo, is the 2015 Maserati Ghibli. All right. So, oh my God. and as you guys see my reaction, it's, oh my goodness. Maserati makes pretty vehicles. Most of their cars look very nice, right? Maserati also has major issues with their vehicles. So this one got a 2. Now, this is on a different scale. This one got a 2 out of 5. I mean, this one's pretty bad. Pretty bad. As a matter of fact, it's one of the most unreliable luxury vehicles you can buy on the planet, along with the Tesla Model S. Yeah, the Tesla Model S is actually one of the most unreliable vehicles. It scores low in absolutely everything as far as durability, reliability. So does this 2015 Maserati Ghibli. It's horrible. It's a piece of junk. But you're going to pay, $100,000+, $200,000 for this vehicle. Or you would have in 2015 when it was brand new. It's junk. Now you can find these vehicles even today. Still, you can still find them, 20 grand, 30 grand. Junk. Avoid. Abort mission. Abort mission on this. Part of the problem is mechanical, and parts are expensive. Not just parts are expensive. Repair costs are extremely expensive. You're talking anywhere now between 25 and 30 grand, within a 4-year span. Nah, it's just a bad vehicle. It looks nice. It absolutely looks nice. It looks exotic. It does. It looks very exotic. The problem is it is extremely unreliable. A couple of people that I know, again, that have them, they don't drive them much. And there's a reason for that, because they know the reliability just isn't there. Not on this one. Maserati has done a little bit to try to help that, but for the most part, it's still just, I'm good. Number six. So check this out. 2019 Audi A6. Now, going back to the normal scale of 10, this one ranks near the absolute bottom. This one got a score 2 out of 10. Woo. Hoo. This is an Audi. It's a really nice looking Audi too. Audi A6 got a 2 out of 10 when it comes to reliability. It's one of the most unreliable vehicles on the road. Not just luxury, just vehicles, period. This one was so bad that the mid-year, they had to change it up. This one was so bad that they just had to stop production on this thing. It was that bad. Oh my God. It was horrible. And crazy thing is, it's always been horrible. It got renamed. The former name of it was the C7. That was bad enough. That was, oh my God, that was junk. Then the A6 came out. They kind of revamped the front, revamped the lights, made it look cool. and they didn't solve hardly any of the problems of the C7. So all that crap, it's like being in a, being in a horrible relationship, and then you break up with the person, then you take that junk over to your new relationship and expect it to be rosy and sunshine. No, you never dealt with the previous junk. Exactly what Audi did. Audi didn't deal with the previous crap that they had going on. Engine problems, mechanical problems, electrical problems, leaky stuff. Oh my God, turbos going out. You name it. This thing had it. Open recalls all day long. Stay away from any 2019 A6. You're for the money you're going to spend on it to get it, you're going to pay that out practically double time to keep it on the road. And you're going to probably have it in the shop more than you actually have it in your garage. And that's just a fact. It's that bad. Oh my goodness. That's why you can find these so cheap on the pre-owned market. Oh, they're dirt cheap in comparison to what a new one would have cost you. They're dirt cheap. They are horrible. They are absolute trash. I mean, trash. And I'm not here knocking Audi. Audi is actually a pretty decent, automaker. Problem is, every manufacturer has that one dud. This is their dud. This is their absolute dud. It is horrible. They should be ashamed that they made it. I get it. You wanted to keep up with the BMWs. I get it. You want to keep up with Mercedes. I understand that. But you cannot ask people to pay upwards of $60,000 to $70,000 to $80,000 for a vehicle and it be absolute trash. It was trash. Still is trash. They have not fixed a lot of those issues. All right, so we're midway through this list, so check this out. Number 5, the 2022 Alfa Romeo Giulia. Now, I like Alfa Romeo. I think they've got a pretty cool design. I like the sportiness look of them. They've got one of the coolest looking SUVs on the road in the Q4. Their car sector, though, man, it's underwhelming. I'll just put it that way. It's really underwhelming. You would think, with them being, having the background that they have, speed and racing and all this other stuff, that you would get just this awesome man machine, this legal hot rod. And for the most part, yeah, you kind of do, but it doesn't live up. For one, it got a 2 out of a 5, meaning it's one of the most unreliable things you can drive. It's the power that you should get, you don't. Then on top of that, it has heating issues as far as engine overheating. It has mechanical issues, oil leaking everywhere. It's underpowered. It's lackluster. And on top of that, it's expensive to repair. That's why I keep saying, do your research. Do your research on these vehicles. Because once you start getting past $35,000 and $40,000 paying for a vehicle, you really should be looking at overall reliability, especially if you know for a fact that you're going to be having this vehicle for a while. Even if you're someone that your normal trade cycle is anywhere between 3 to 4 years, right? Well, within that 3 to 4 years, what is your maintenance cost going to ultimately be? Because that comes back to the overall cost of ownership. Because remember, your car payment is just a piece of that, and it may be a major piece of that. But on the other end of it, what does it cost for you just to drive it? Meaning, what's the gas looking like? Gas mileage should be important to you. What kind of maintenance is this going to take? Doesn't even come with a maintenance plan. And believe it or not, some of the stuff doesn't. And even when it does, That's why I keep saying, you wonder why people start dumping Mercedes, BMWs, and Audis right around 45 to 50 to 60,000 miles. There's a reason for that. The maintenance plan is gone. They know without a shot of a doubt, when not if something happens, but when something happens, they're going to be on the hook for a huge repair bill. That's just fact. That's just sheer fact. Parts are expensive. The cost of actually doing the work is expensive. Just to maintain it is expensive. And again, that's why people dump them after a while. That's just the truth. And what do these buy here pay here's do? They go get them because hey, they know hey, they're people who don't know and they just want to be seen and want to be flashy and don't understand that its best is already behind it. Fact. The best of that vehicle is already behind it at 40, 50, or 60,000 miles. You should not be buying a luxury vehicle that's got 60 to 70,000 miles on it. No way. I'm not. I wouldn't. Because you got to think what your ultra rich do. They don't even do that. So why would you? Just so you can be seen. Because the more mileage that gets on that, the more costly the repair is. The more things that are going to go wrong with it. They're not made to hold up like that. They're just not. They're not made to hold up like that. They're made to be seen for 3 to 4 years. Then after that, dump them. Dump them, dump them, dump them, dump them. It's just a fact. Ooh, man. Just when you think, you want to go buy a luxury vehicle, stuff like this makes you think. Next on this list, number 4, it's going to be the 2012 Volvo S60. Now, this one got a 4 out of 10. Now, they still make the S60. Have they improved it? Yes, they have improved it some. But this particular version of the S60 back in 2012, whoo, hot garbage. Hot garbage. Nice looking car. They still are really nice. They're one of the most unique vehicles on the road. They actually look way more expensive than what they really are. The inside definitely can rival a Cadillac, can definitely rival a BMW. I mean, Volvo has figured out what they are and they've gone after it. And a lot of their SUVs, oh my God, they're absolutely stunning. The S60, which is a sedan car, it's beautiful too. It's nice to look at because again, it's so different. It doesn't look like anything else on the road. The problem with them is again repair costs, and that's going to be the issue with a lot of these vehicles. The repair costs. People are not wanting to pay, $25 to $3,000 to $4,000 every time they go in and have their vehicle looked at. This one, engine problems. And why is that a recurring theme with a lot of these vehicles? You would think, your luxury vehicles would have the best engines that could be put in them. You would think their engines would be better than, let's just say, their more affordable counterparts. You would think because you're paying so much more for it that you would be getting the absolute best that overall brand has to offer. It's not always the case. There's a reason why Kia has jumped so far in a very short period of time. Again, I remember 10, 15 years ago, Kia was the joke of the automotive industry. They were an absolute joke. They were a fucking joke. You got a Kia because you couldn't afford anything else. And you knew it was a piece of shit. Now look. Dare I say Kia is probably the number 2, 3 best brand you can buy on the planet? Kia. So if Kia can make those adjustments and learn from their history and past mistakes, why can't these luxury brands do the same thing? Well, it's very simple. It's all about the money because they know there are going to be people out there who's going to be willing to pay just for the name. Oh, because this is a Mercedes. You're going to buy me anyway. Never mind that I'm only going to last 50 to 60,000 miles. Oh, you're going to buy me anyway because I'm a BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Yeah, until you hit about 65, 70,000 miles. You're going to buy me anyway because I'm an Audi. And then we make, the Audi A6. Piece of shit. Oh, because I've got the most expensive EV on the road and it's the most desired on the road. But you make one of the most unreliable vehicles with four wheels on planet Earth in that Tesla S model. See, we shouldn't be trying to be so flashy as opposed to being safe. I don't know why that is. As a society, we've decided that we want to keep up with the Joneses and the Kardashians and the West and the Carters, and I'm talking about Beyonce and them and everybody else, trying to live up to their way of life and not understanding their way of life is so far removed from ours. They can afford to. Oh, well, the Tesla just tore up today. Okay, cool. Go get another one. You can't do that. $100,000 ain't nothing to these people. So why would you invest so much into a vehicle that you are not that it's probably going to end up breaking down on you before you even pay off the loan? I'm just saying. See, when they buy it, it's paid for that day, so they could give shit. Oops. They don't care. Number 3, next on this list. And of course, I got to get here. 2013 BMW 5 Series. Now, BMW is notorious for their issues. They know it. We all know it. There are people who swear by BMW, just like there are people who swear by Mercedes. I don't swear by none of them because I don't trust neither one. Both of them, to me, are the same difference. Both of y'all are junk. I will never buy a Maybach. I will never buy a Mercedes S550. I'm not going to buy a BMW anything. Oh, they make nice looking vehicles. Don't get it twisted. They do. They make some of the prettiest stuff you've ever seen on the road. Oh, and for a while, absolutely. Their vehicles are going to drive like absolute planes. I'm telling you. You're not even going to know you're on the road. That's how smooth that ride is. But just like I said, after a while, it's not if with these, it's when. When is this thing going to tear up? That's why they come with maintenance plans, because these manufacturers know that they're going to. They know that there's going to be some major repair costs going on. They know it. And that's why they dump them. That's why people that have them dump them. So this one in particular got a 2 out of 10, meaning that this vehicle is one of the most unreliable vehicles on the road, not just in the luxury sector, but just in general. And I don't think you guys realize how bad of a vehicle you actually have to make to get a 2. Do you know how bad you got to be to get a 2 out of 10? That's like on the standardized tests, the ACT and SAT and stuff like that, right? You get 200 points or 400 points for just signing your name, right? That's like you didn't even sign your name. Like, that's how bad this is. It's like you just didn't even show up. Same thing. Oh my goodness. Same thing. Timing belt problems, which leads to mechanical problems. We're talking a vehicle, electrical problems. And the crazy thing is, it looks actually pretty good. But people, again, swear by these vehicles. Why? Why are they the standard? Why are they the standard? That's why people manufacture like a Genesis, who is new to the luxury game, right? Has come not just match them, but in many ways beat them. Genesis is absolutely one of the absolute best brands you can buy. And I'm not just talking in the luxury sector, I'm talking period. Genesis is one of the best luxury brands, not just that, but best brands you can buy. And they haven't been doing luxury that long. What? Because they're new kid on the block. And they put all of them on notice, all those blue bloods on notice. What? Genesis has only been around 5-6 years. The independent Genesis brand, not the Hyundai Genesis, but when Genesis broke off and decided that they were going to be the luxury brand of Hyundai. New kid on the block. They haven't been doing it that long. And they've jumped practically everybody. Everybody. As a matter of fact, I actually sold a Genesis today. It was a 2019 G70. And oh my God, this thing to me drives better than a Mercedes. It's got the interior of a BMW, but the technology that you would absolutely want. And guess what? It doesn't cost nowhere near any of those blue bloods do. Oops. And it's got a turbo. I'm just saying. You've got, and I get it, a lot of this, because you can play devil's advocate and say, well, Genesis hasn't been around long enough to have enough history for there to be recalls and issues. Just give them time and they'll come back down to earth. Yeah, you're right. They could. My question to you then is, what if they don't? What if they only continue to get better? What if they only continue to blow everybody out of the water? What if they continue to do that? Then what? Because guess what? Toyota did for a long time. Honda did for a long time. Remember those two vehicles, the Honda Accord and the Toyota Camry, would go back and forth during the 90s of Car of the Year. Just facts. Look it up. Facts. So what if Genesis continues this trailblazing trail that they're on? My question then becomes, well, why aren't BMW? Why aren't Mercedes? Why isn't Audi? Why aren't they trying to figure out what Genesis is doing? We all thought these Euro luxury brands were the standard, and at one point in time they were. What has happened? How did you let the Japanese come in Lexus, the Koreans come in Genesis, and completely dominate the automotive industry, not just as a whole, but as something that you had your arm wrapped completely around? How is Lexus making better luxury vehicles, and they haven't been doing it as long as Mercedes or BMW or Audi? How have you let those two, Lexus and Genesis, come in and take your throne? How? And you seemingly aren't doing anything about it because you continue to put out junk, trash. A lot of these vehicles that I'm listing, they're not old. They're not, 1995s. They're not, 2002s. 2019, 2022. That's a bad look, man. That's bad. It's real bad. If you are someone who only buys luxury, this may be a good time for you to start looking and shopping around within that sector because it's grown wider. The European blue bloods aren't what they used to be unless you're willing to, shell out some serious cash. And even then, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I don't know. Number 2 on this list. Number 2 is where we are of completely unreliable luxury vehicles. Is the 2022 Volvo S60. I told you Volvo was going to come back, right? So I told you they improved it some, and they did. This one scored a 6 out of 10. So it got better, right? It got better. Woo! Still ain't got that much better. It got better, though. It has gotten better. They've made it sleeker. They've made it even more dynamic. It's still very nice. I've had the opportunity to drive one. It's one of the nicest vehicles I've ever driven. It is absolutely a monster on the road. The turbo in it is outstanding. The interior, I'd put that up against anything interior wise. It's a pretty vehicle. It is a really, really pretty vehicle. It's gorgeous on the inside. The outside is definitely eye-catching. I love the LED lights, but here we go again. What's the problem? It scored below average in practically everything. Oh my God. So seems like these Euro brands care more about how the way something looks and the way something drives than the reliability of it. You know, that's like you can look good all you want to, but if you are a trash person on the inside, you will always be a trash person on the inside. If you are someone who is a horrible person on the inside, I don't care how well you dress it up. A goat's going to be a goat no matter what the goat's wearing, right? It's kind of what happened here. Yeah, until until you get to the root of that thing, it will always be same thing. So they've improved it, but they didn't improve the root fully because you're still below average in mostly everything. Reliability, mechanical issues, electrical issues. And my problem is, why are all these Euros having so many electrical issues? Do we not know how to wire? Do we not know how to put things in their proper places? I get it. I get it. I know this just seems like I'm picking on all the Euros, and I'm not. I'm objective. There are some really good Euros out there. These just so happen to be some of the worst. Avoid at all costs. I'm going to say this again. Avoid at all costs. There are other places to put that same amount of money and probably get more. That's why a brand like Genesis, again, I keep going back to Genesis. That's why a brand like Genesis is taking over the way that it is. Because for the same amount of money that you're going to end up spending on a Mercedes or a BMW or an Audi, right, to get the really, really, really nice one, oh, you can get a fully loaded Genesis for probably 15 to 20 grand less. Just being honest. And it competes just as well with the Mercedes, BMWs, and the Audi. And in many phases, it beats them. That's fact. Sorry, that's just fact. I want you guys to understand that the world is changing, especially in the automotive lane. Brands that were once deemed to be, dare I say, untouchable, not only are they being touched, man, they're being kicked around like, some old Alabama trash, man. Even the American Blue Bloods are nowhere near what they were. Nowhere near. That's why they've gotten out of the arena of making sedans because they were so horrible. Ford doesn't make a sedan outside of the Mustang. They were so horrible. The Ford Fusion is one of the worst vehicles ever made. The Ford Focus is even worse than that. God. The Chevrolet Cruze, oh my God. There are dealerships who will not put a warranty on a Chevrolet Cruze because of how crap it is. And I know I just jumped to American brand, but I want you guys to understand the world is changing. And it got so bad for the Americans that they completely got out, practically all at the same time, completely got out of making sedans because they were so bad at it. And at one point in time, we were some of the best at it. Some of the most iconic cars to ever be created were American made. So how do we go from being so good to being out of the entire sector of making sedans? How does that even happen? The same thing is now, I believe, starting to happen to these Euro luxury brands for the most part. And we're already seeing it. There are not as many sedans as there once were. What's taking over? Crossovers, SUVs, compact SUVs, that whole kind of thing. Because guess what? They're realizing they make them a little bit better than they do cars. Oops. And if you look at some of their most reliable luxury SUVs on the market right now, or reliable luxury vehicles, a lot of them are SUVs or crossovers. They just are. Now, that could be due to popularity. That could be due to, it has to be somewhat better because it's a larger vehicle and it has to be able to hold, more weight and more passenger. So it can't just, they can't just chewing gum and duct tape it together. That could be it too. But at one point in time, I think everyone here can agree that, man, when you say you had a Mercedes C-Class, E-Class, ooh. When you had that BMW, ooh. When you say that you had that Audi, what happened? What happened? I don't know. So, I know you guys are wondering, well, what's the worst? What is the worst luxury vehicle that you can buy right now? I'm going to get to that. Let's do a quick review, though. Number 10 was definitely, and I know everybody wants one, and we're pining for one, and you can see them all over the pre-owned market. Please stay away from the Tesla Model S. I don't care what year. They are truly one of the most unreliable vehicles on the road, period. They just are. Tesla as a brand overall is that way. But they're pushing everyone to EVs. They're pushing everybody to that. EV. Every manufacturer, auto manufacturer, has at least one or two of them, or they're working on them. They're the worst, not to mention the most expensive. They're the worst, though. but everyone's jumping onto a Tesla. Why? I get it. It looks cool. They're awesome. They're fast, and they are. They're all fast. They're fast as all out get out. Some of the fastest cars on the road. They're junk. They are junk. Number 9 was that 2012 XJ. And I used to want one. I used to want an XJ because I always thought they were cool. And then all of a sudden I wanted one, and then everyone's driving an XJ. I hate when that happens, right? Number 8 was that Jaguar S-Type, 1998. Just a bad car. Just a really, really bad car. Had a lot of issues. Number 7 was that 2015 Maserati Ghibli. Ugh, bad car. Just a bad car. Number 6 was that, to me, was surprising because it looked good. 2019 Audi A6. Horrible car. Just, ugh. Looks nice. And yes, you can find them on the pre-owned market, and they're pretty dirt cheapo for Audi. Stay away. Just stay away from it. It is absolute trash. Number 5 was that 2022 Alfa Romeo Giulia. It looks good. It does. It's a sight to behold. Trash. And I think for the most part, the interior, I think they could have did better with that because it looks cheap to me. That's just me. Number 4 is that 2012 Volvo S60. Bad car. Looks good, just a bad car. Number 3 was that 2013 BMW 5 Series. Really bad car. Probably one of the worst BMWs ever built. Seriously. It was that bad. Number 2, 2022 Volvo S60. It got better. It looked better. They improved some things. But I don't know. Still bad. It's just not as bad as the 2012. So in 10 years, they did improve. They showed improvement. If you actually look at those two vehicles side by side, they almost look like completely two different vehicles. So they did learn from their mistakes. They did learn from their past. They just didn't learn enough, you know. So what is the worst then? Because we've been talking about a lot of Euros, right? A lot of Euros. Everything up there is a Euro. Because Alfa Romeo is Italian. Euro, right? So what's the worst? Well, I'm here to tell you. The number 1, the absolute worst, I mean worst, luxury vehicle, most unreliable luxury vehicle that you can buy, go out and spend your hard money on. And I'm ashamed. Actually, I am absolutely ashamed because it's not even a Euro. No, you would think it would be a Euro. You would think it would be another Jaguar. You would think it'd be a Mercedes up here. You would think it would be a BMW. You damn sure thought it was an Audi because let's just be honest. They're like the stepchild of Mercedes and BMW. They just are. So what is it, huh? The number 1, the absolute worst, unreliable luxury car that will leave you stranded on the side of the road is the 2022 Cadillac CT5. Oh my God. They had to put an American vehicle up here. And no, this article that I got it from is not written by a Brit. It's actually written by an American. Oh, so the 2022 Cadillac CT5 is the absolute worst, most unreliable luxury sedan that you can buy right now. Oh my God, where do we begin with the problems on this thing? Now, I will say this, it's pretty to look at. It's absolutely gorgeous, inside and out. It's definitely a Cadillac through and through, whatever that actually means now, because they get a lot of their stuff, or it is inspired. Let me say it that way. They are inspired by the Germans and a lot of Euro stuff, right? Oh, scale of 1 to 10, this thing ranks out at a 2. It's pretty bad for Cadillac. It's really just, yeah, reliability is horrid. This thing, problems, I mean, you name it, it's got it. It's got recalls on it right now. Oh my God. I mean, mechanical issues through the roof, electrical issues through the roof. And it's sad. It's actually sad. I'm actually truly sad to say that the most unreliable luxury vehicle you can buy right now is a damn Cadillac. The CT5 in particular. And believe it or not, if you actually go through that entire brand, the rest of them aren't that far behind it either. Yeah, yeah, they're just picking on this one because it's probably the worst out of the entire brand. But don't think the Escalade is far in front of it either. No, it's not. Don't think the CT6 is just that dude. It ain't. Don't think the CT4 is the shit. It's not. It's a piece of shit. But that damn CT5 is just, which is their mid-size sedan, is the worst, most unreliable. I can't point to necessarily why it is of all of those the worst. I know it's got issues out the wazoo. Cadillac knows it's got issues out the wazoo. I mean, but here's the thing. If you rank them, it's literally, if you look at this list, it's literally right just above the Volvo S60, right above the Alfa Romeo. So, I mean, we're all shooting for the bottom here. That's literally what it's for. I mean, this is just the bottom of the bottom. Oh my goodness. I mean, out of the reliability score, which goes to 100, it scored a 63, which is below average and everything. I mean, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's below average in every category possible to speak of. Customer satisfaction, reliability, ownership satisfaction, repair costs, you name it, maintenance. It's you name the issue, it's got the issue. Whatever you could possibly hate about a vehicle, you're gonna end up hating about this. I it, uh, just when you think, you know, American luxury can't go any lower, because you want to know something too. I know they're picking on Cadillac, but Lincoln ain't that far behind it either. I'm gonna put that out there. Yeah, Lincoln may be 2 spots above Cadillac. Truth be told, if that, they may be running neck and neck. The Navigator isn't that much better in the Escalade. But you're going to spend, again, hundreds of thousands of dollars on these vehicles. And for these vehicles to be the most unreliable things, not just in their sector of being luxury, but just the most unreliable vehicles with 4 wheels. I mean, it's astonishing. It's shame. It's woeful. It's egregious. And that's just overall, and that's for all of them. It's not just Cadillac, it's not just Lincoln, it's all of them. They should be ashamed. These vehicles that I listed are some of the worst vehicles ever created. I'm not just talking about for that model year. I'm talking about ever. Just ever. These manufacturers put out a vehicle that has an engine and 4 tires, piece of junk, and they want you to pay above 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 plus $1,000 for these vehicles, and it's not even going to hold up. When you got Nissans, Toyotas, and Hondas holding up longer than they do. And crazy thing is, you would think, because you're spending a hell of a lot more, you would think that you would be getting the best of the best. In many cases, you're getting the worst of the worst. Save your money, save the 60, 70, 80 grand, and just go buy a damn Toyota. Go buy a Nissan. At least you know the one issue it's got. How about you go buy a Hyundai? How about you go buy Kia right now? It's the hottest brand on the market. And they're not having many issues. And for the issues that they are having, at least you know what they are. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is ridiculous. So I hope tonight we have dove deep. So I hope tonight that you've learned something. That just because the name is Mercedes, just because the name is Jaguar, just because the name is BMW, the ultimate driving machine, just because the name is Cadillac, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, doesn't necessarily mean you're getting quality. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all want. It's quality, right? I don't care about the name. I want quality. For whatever I'm buying, I want quality. I don't want just the name because the name sounds good. I want quality. So the next time that you're out buying your luxury vehicle, you better know what you're buying. I hope you've done your research enough to understand what it is that you're buying. Because you may end up being stuck with one of these vehicles and wondering what the hell happened. I thought I was buying one of the best of the best. And you end up buying one of the worst of the worst. If you want more information like this and you want to catch up with me, you can catch up with me at themccraryexperience.com. I am on Facebook and Instagram at The McCrary Experience. Of course, you can catch my YouTube channel, Behind the Experience, the Car Show. This is Anthony McCrary signing off. I hope you guys have a wonderful and great week. And I will see you guys next week. Peace.
Valdosta Nissan says, pick your payment, then pick your vehicle.
At Valdosta Nissan, we have so many vehicles to sell, we're letting you pick your payment.
Some as low as $199 a month, and some even have zero down. Your vehicle, your payment. It's that easy.
With over 300 company-wide, there's a vehicle for everyone, and you pick the payment. Come see why so many folks buy from Valdosta Nissan every day. All day, every day, Valdosta Nissan has your best deal.